excite
What's up,
me.
good people?
They are-
Yo, what's up?
Hey.
Philly, we about to go live, and you over here watching dang date videos or something. You watching Love and Hip Hop on your phone, and we about to go live.
Look, man, look. Don't start, bro, because I'm telling you, especially today and what's about to happen tomorrow, I told my wife I wouldn't do it. I'll let it go, all right?
Oh, you
So
did?
let's
Good.
not go that way.
Good. I'm gonna talk to her if it don't happen. First of all,
Let's not do it.
happy Father's Day to all the fathers, the two on the screen. Brown, I know you out
Appreciate
there
it.
having brunch. Happy Father's Day to all
Appreciate it.
y'all. Jess, what the heck is on your lap?
And happy Father's Day to the fathers that inspire that may not have, their natural
Yeah.
born kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't forget that.
So, this is Lil Deacon.
Deacon.
Little Deacon.
Hey,
That's his
Deacon
real
Jones?
name?
He done laid down now. Deacon player.
Deacon Player.
Deacon player.
You know what? I'm not surprised that is his name.
What kind of
Deacon
dog
player.
is that?
A Yorkie.
Oh,
Yorkie,
okay.
man.
Yeah,
Oh,
Deacon
okay.
Player.
The fifth kid.
Oh,
Oh,
Philly,
yeah,
that look kind of like Coco, huh? What's Coco?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
Deacon.
He chilling.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Out-
It's a boy, right?
A
girl.
boy.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all
Oh,
can make puppies.
Yeah.
Show
Yeah,
my
she
shirt.
does.
I was out.
How old is he? How old is he?
4 years old.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
that's what's up.
Look
that's
at Pete.
what's up.
Pete
He-
thinking
he-
about money. Look at talking about y'all can make puppies. Ain't nobody talking about making no puppies.
I can make
Nah, I
Ain't
got
talking about
it.
making no puppies, man.
Them Yorkies sell. Them Yorkies sell
Dude.
for a
There you
grip.
go. Think about money first.
I
First,
got him from Texas for he was originally 2,000, but the lady hooked me up. She found out I was military. She gave them to me for 1,600. They're expensive.
that's not bad. Oh yeah, they really expensive. We got a Yorkie. We got a mini Yorkie over here too. I think my wife paid like $2,500 for it.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
expensive.
I say my wife, but somehow or another, I know my money was tied up in that too.
Philly, you want to talk about Coco's price? No, we're gonna leave that.
Oh yeah, hey, he did.
Well,
His eyes did light up when he sold.
I know,
The Japanese don't care about military discounts. Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah,
want to know that.
come up.
I don't even
Okay,
want to know
well.
that.
Hey, it is what it is. So you ain't gonna say how much Coco cost? You ain't gonna talk about it, right? We're gonna move on.
Why you all in my business, man?
I'm just
Look,
asking.
she
I'm
paid
just
a
asking
hefty
if you
price.
gonna say it or
You
not.
can't put a price on a family member. You know what I mean?
right.
100%.
Yeah, you
100%.
can't pay a price on that. You know, how much did you pay for yours?
12 or Thor was 1,200.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's all?
yeah. Thor was just 1,200. That's it.
Oh, you got that ghetto price.
Got
Come here,
that.
Thor.
What you buying a back
I
out?
was talking about Thor.
I thought he would have said more. I thought Thor cost more than that.
Oh, Thor.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I'm thinking about maybe 1,800, 2,000,
Yeah, close to 2,000 range. Yeah.
That's back alley prices, bro.
See, what
So-
kind of discount you got?
It's a little Saint Bernard.
Okay.
A little
No, it ain't
Saint
little.
Bernard.
It
A
ain't
little
little.
Saint Bernard.
It ain't little.
Yes. Jess, you remember about a season ago, I told you about how I got introduced to his other dog. He bought the same size as his other dog.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
he a
yeah.
big
Ain't nothing
fur
little
ball.
about him.
No,
Ain't nothing little
he's
about him.
a little pup. A little pup.
Until he come in there, he gonna knock the table over. Pete microphone gonna fly off.
Hey, Mike, you remember when he was a puppy when we was recording? He just decided
Yeah, he
to
came here,
walk
came
up
in and destroyed everything in the middle of a show.
Oh wow.
Ain't nothing little about him. Ain't
Yeah,
nothing
the
little
What
about
the
him.
hell y'all doing in here?
Yeah,
What y'all doing?
that's pretty much what he did.
Basically, that's what it was. Basically, that's what it was.
Yo,
Basically,
the
that's what it
door's
was.
kind of cracked. I don't want to get up to close it, but he sleep right now. When he sleeps, there's nothing disturbs him. We can get robbed at gunpoint, and he don't care. Somebody
you gotta
rang the doorbell like 3 nights ago at like 9 o'clock at night. I'm in the bed. He just sleeps, snoring his life away. The doorbell
Yeah.
rang. Somebody knocking on the door. I'm like, bro, you
Yeah.
supposed to be the protector.
You
Oh, he
better,
from
you
the
better
south.
do.
You know we don't get up after 9 o'clock.
You better
Hey,
do.
we call before you come over.
Yeah, you better do some of your canine training with him.
Yo,
man.
he about to go back in school. What'd you say?
So you better do some of your canine training with Thor, man.
No.
Nah, Chief, you know what? Chief saw my other
Yo,
dog up in
Yo,
Texas.
P has to be one of the worst canine trainers ever, bro. He don't need to train no dog.
The worst?
The stories I can tell y'all, boy.
Oh my God! Yeah, we might have to hit them.
No, let me tell you about canine handlers, right? We spend so much time training dogs. We don't want to train our own dog when we get home. We done with that. We spend all day training dogs, 8 hours a day. When I come home, I don't want to keep training. I need to take a break. What you say? Self-cleansing, self-care. He takes some self-care.
Self-cleansing. Here we go.
Self-care ain't about taking care of these dogs. Anyway, Jess, how you been? It's been a while since you've been on. Everything good?
I know. Everything is good. Transitioning.
Yeah.
As one of those military members preparing for retirement next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, next year. You got a month yet?
Probably May, but I'm going through a MEB, so it may be earlier than that.
Okay.
Dang.
So May.
Yep, I've been scoping out like Dallas and Atlanta.
Okay.
You ain't gonna do it? Oh, okay. Well, that's what's up. I hope we get an invite because I damn sure would love to be there.
Hey, look, I go to my mental health therapist on base, and she was laughing. She was like, "So I want to calculate all this for your MEB. How much terminal will you have?" I'm like, "Ma'am, I ain't got no use and lose. You got like, how many days you got?" Ma'am, 6.
Yeah.
She was like, "You need to talk to some of your peers." I said, "Ma'am, that's not my business. I drink my water and mind my business."
Man, you know what? Our first sergeant just sent out. I think our S1 sent out the use or lose.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say I'm number 1, but I'm in the top 5.
Where's the prize?
I'm in the top 5.
Should have a pretty good amount too.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh yeah, because we're gone for a year.
Yeah.
But
what? Nope. Not this guy here. I take my time. Yeah.
See?
I sit in my dorm room for 7 days if I got to. But I'm gonna take my leave. I'm gonna take my leave. And a lot of people don't know I'm in Arizona right now. I left Hawaii again. I came back for 5 days.
Like you went to, you left, went to Hawaii, the graduation. I was like, Mike been bouncing.
Moving. This a busy year, but my son go to basic training Tuesday. I couldn't miss that.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So
Yeah,
I just popped out for a couple days to come see him also.
You know what I was just thinking? I just thought about that. If Ramirez was his TI, that would be nuts. I
don't think she's not pushing the flight. She's not pushing the flight.
Okay.
No okay. Not pushing flight. Yep.
Yeah, we know a TI down there. But we need to find out if any TIs are on here, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, I already talked to him. I ain't put nobody on blast, but I already talked to him.
What'd you say?
I tell you, if you see him, make him push every time.
God, dog.
Every time. 37 push-ups all day long.
Why not just treat them equally?
No.
Just treat them fair. Why not just say that?
We gotta be the cream of the crop. He need to come out better than anybody else.
Philly, your son went to basic. Did you give a call first?
No, man. Oh no, actually I did. I just told the chief down there to just look out for him. That's all. Just make sure he was good. Send me a couple of pics. That's it.
Send you some pics.
Yeah, so I can see how he's doing full like a proof of life, man. Make sure he good, man. Yeah. And I'll tell you, the first pictures.
Nice. I thought he was gonna say myself. I was like, don't do
this. Man, we were in Okinawa when he went through basic training. We didn't hear from like 4 weeks. And when we finally got his pictures, man, I tell you, we were in tears, man, because he was doing one of those drills during Warrior Week, and just the look on his face is like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Yeah.
That was good to see.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely proud about that. So, but yeah, I did reach out. I said, man, if you see him, man, make him do some push-ups, man.
Yeah,
make him push.
He gonna be mad at you.
It'd be all right.
Beat your ass when you come down there.
It ain't gonna kill him, so it make him strong. It'd be all right.
I can dig
it. Yeah, already.
He going to CE, structured maintenance.
Okay.
Yeah. He interested in Red Horse. So I know we got a couple followers and supporters Red Horse. So I'm gonna be reaching out, do my research on it. But we talked about Red Horse for a little bit, so he wanted to try to end up on that avenue. So I told him, hey, you better put your work in, man. Put your work in. So we'll see.
I don't even know how Red Horse works. Go ahead.
They were like, yeah. you started this and so right. Do another 25 push-ups. The next day, hey, sorry, this. I know your pop. Hey, do another 25.
Do another 25 push-ups.
Your pop sisters love 25 push-ups.
That's toe up.
That's what I need right there.
I hope it don't go down like that. I hope it don't happen.
I hope it do.
Nah, that's toe up, man. But speaking of that, man, you know what? Go right into. I know Brown's not on here, but he wanted to talk about last show about assignment swaps. Now that that's like a thing in the Air Force, what y'all think about that concept of assignment swap? If y'all, I don't know, Mike, if you ain't part of that Security Forces assignment swap Facebook page, are you on that thing?
Yeah, I am. I actually just added it a couple days ago.
Okay, that thing be buzzing.
Yeah,
buzzing. That thing stay going. I had to turn off the notifications because that thing just stay going on. But what y'all think about the assignment swap?
I think I haven't done a lot of research on it. I think that it's a great opportunity because we had it before. So I think it's a great opportunity. You know what I mean? Because Brown and Sean Williams did it, but it wasn't even that program. It was just Chief making the call. Brown had orders. It kind of conflicted with him being ADL. They in the same boat, basically AFST skill level. You know, family wise, whatever, and Chief was able to get it, get it happen. So they just basically gave Brown orders to Williams, and he went to Korea. You know what I mean? So I think it's a great opportunity, man. If you somewhere you just don't want to be, and somebody else want to be there, and you have the opportunity to switch, so why not? Why not?
I agree. I want to give some shout outs too to the AFPC team. I like some of the people I know, like CMS Sergeant Shelly Smith, CMS Sergeant Stringer Boyd, just from the help that I received. And Smith and I used to be in Japan together. She's legal by trade. But I think it helps those individuals that are sitting in their positions too, like help navigate it. Because, sometimes they're one deep in their positions. And I think those FAMs, they don't receive enough love either. But I think it helps take some of the weight off of them by making the people do the work.
Oh, yeah.
And they just the loop for them.
And it makes you smarter, it makes you smarter. Because if you know more, you can go and take a little bit of knowledge to somebody's table for them to be able to help you, but say, hey, I did do this much, right? Or I did go this far. It teaches you more. I know a lot of things I had to learn, and then I was able to also give to my troops. Like, hey, I went through that to a certain extent. This is what I had to do. So, of course, tap in if you need me, but use all of this, and then let's take it to the SMEs for them to take us to the, across the finish line. So it also helps, especially with finance. If you don't know a little bit about finance, you're messing up big time. Messing up big time.
Philly, Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Now I was gonna say happy Father's Day to Chris too, man. He's a father himself, likewise. Thanks, bro.
I know.
Thanks, brother.
Picture.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day, man. They got 2 sons now. Right?
Yeah, I won't add more to it. I mean, I agree with it. I don't have any issues with it. I think I can't say much more on it. I think there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen in order for folks to swap. And so I think it's good for troops to be able to do the homework on their own, like Mike was saying. A lot of times people just expect chiefs to make phone calls and make things magically happen. I think it's good for troops to be able to have opportunity to control their own destiny to some degree. The only thing, as long as they understand, I mean, Air Force needs still come first to some degree, but it's good they're able to do that. So,
yeah.
It's just weird that like I said, the Security Forces page is buzzing, and it's like 90% of them is your Minots, your Maelstroms, your FE Warrens, your cannons, your offits. Yeah. It's all those. But you don't see. I ain't seen one say Hawaii. Like,
of course not.
I ain't seen one. Yeah. I ain't seen one say
but
California.
with the good gonna come to bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody it's gonna have to suck somewhere. It is what it is.
I guess my question is, if those are the hot ones, and I'm just going off experience what I've seen, how much of this really is successful? Because there is people out there, but ballpark, I guess the majority, if you would take a poll, wouldn't do a assignment switch from Hawaii or maybe even to California or Florida, Colorado, the famous ones that are out there. So it's like, what really are we swapping?
Not necessarily though, because like you said, it's people out there. It is people It is people that like to hunt. It's people that like being in cold weather. It's people that like that environment, and it's people that hate constantly being hot. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's out there. Just a matter of being able to get your request out there, and are they taking the steps to kind of put their request in, or have the system going? Because I didn't get smart on the system yet. I'm on the process. But I think it comes down to, are they brave enough, or are they educated enough to say, hey, I really don't want to be here. Let me put my name in this hat, or let me start this application. So Joe Smo on the other side knows, hey, this base is up for grabs. But I think it's people that rather not be in the sun and the beach and so on and so forth.
Jess, what you got to say?
There's also.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say real quick, there's also some other things to consider too. There are folks who may not meet all the qualifications under EF&P, or they've got some challenges when it comes to custody of children. Let's not even talk about the custody. What do they call it? Custody. Fudge. I can't remember what they call it. But anyway, you have what is it?
The court order on
Yes,
child.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for that. So I've had cases where troops, for some reason in a divorce decree, didn't say the exact thing that the Air Force was asking for. They weren't able to benefit from it. But instead of going back to court and paying extra money for lawyer fees and stuff like that, this program might help them in that regard too. So, and there's some folks that just, they like a specific area. I've met a few that would rather go to Grand Forks or Montana.
Right.
They have a connection there.
Right.
Right. I guess I agree with the same thing. It's funny because I hear a lot of troops being like, I'm tired of at the base I'm at. I'm tired of being here or whatever. I was like, oh, you could swap now. And they're like, oh, I don't want to go here though. It's like, okay, now which one do you want? It's like, do you want to leave or do you want to stay? Which one? Yeah. You can't just have your dream. I mean, I guess you can have your dream sheet, but if you ain't a first term airman anymore, it's going to be tough to get a stateside assignment as it is. And then if you do, I mean, good luck on the places that everybody from Korea, your 365s and want to go to, and all the BOPs that want to go to. I don't even know what advice really to give them, except for just look at that assignment swap thing, because if not, you kind of just play it. I know we had a couple people that came from F.E. Warren, been here for 4 years, and just got assignment back to F.E. Warren. Yeah. It's like, golly, man. I don't want to say I feel bad for them, but at the same token, I mean, they had their chances to go to Korea or do their 365s and try to, play that game, but they wanted to play the game they did and ended up with what they ended up with. But hopefully it's good for them. I've never been there. I heard good things and bad things about it, but I ain't never been there at all. But hopefully that assignment swap thing stays for a while. It works out well for a lot of people, or works out well for some people. But hopefully it does.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it goes all the way up to what? Master Sergeant and Senior Master Sergeant?
Senior, yeah.
Senior Master Sergeant. So I think the thing that concerns me is, only thing I was going to say is the thing that concerns me is if you have, case in point, Eddie Grant, this guy has been majority of his career in PACAF. No, the only reason why I bring that up is this is a swap assignment. If you have somebody that more than likely favors one side of the globe and it continuously stay in that area, how does that look for promotion? So are the folks that sit on the board going to take that into account? Because you have some folks say, the reason why you didn't get promoted is because you need to leave Joint Base Andrews. You've been there too long. Well, if the swap assignment thing allows you to be in that region, why should you be held accountable?
And I've heard that. I've heard when we first started kicking off EFDPs and the boards and everything happening, I heard that certain Raiders are looking like, hey, where have you been? Do you got experience in different MASCOMs? Have you been in the same MASCOM all this time? Because it equates to what you, in our world anyway. When you talk about security forces, it equates to what kind of mission you have, what you doing security, LE, you doing, what I mean. So people look at that and weigh it against, me being the PACAF, you safety, ACCR versus, like you said, one person being one place. It might help. You know what I mean? So I can see that as well.
But think about those jobs like maintenance that are maintenance specific, where they only have certain aircraft and only certain locations they can go to. I just wish, we would collectively look at not holding where someone is. Right. I just, if you have been in one MAJCOM for so long, like, does your breadth of experience show that you were able to diversify, your records?
Right. No, I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that even goes back to the topic we had last week. There was one portion where we were discussing technical experts, folks who don't want to get promoted to Master Sergeant. You have a lot of maintainers, specifically in the A-10 community, that don't want to work on any type of airframe.
Yeah.
And now that they're versifying A-10s, they're going to transition to another aircraft, but they would rather go to Moody or they would rather go to Osan and stay on A-10s.
Right.
Like, why should that be held against them? You know, especially if they're still doing a mission at a high level.
Yeah. And it's not 100% in your control. It ain't like, you know, you can try this. If the Air Force say they ain't moving, they're not moving. So it's not 100% to where I got a joystick and I'm moving where I move. You know, I'm choosing where I move to. You know, it's not in my
Or
control.
if they pluck you, that's why I just like what DC was saying. When people look at your records, I just gave up. I think when I was a master sergeant, when people are like, "Let me see your records," because now by the time I retire, like I've worked in 5 different AFSCs, and I'm just like, don't tell me like whether or not I'm experienced or not, because it's not like I wanted to retrain either. So I'm just like, you know, for every job you placed me in, I've been able to excel in it. But don't say like, oh, you haven't led large teams and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there is AFSC constraints, and don't hold that against a person because they're fulfilling what their AFSC constraints are.
Yeah.
Just,
that's actually a good topic.
Yeah.
That's a good topic right there, because that happens all the time.
People be like, you ain't have you. I be like, leave me alone. Like half of y'all can't even lead somebody to the bathroom. My records don't show like I have been a large squadron and blah blah blah. I'm just like, whatever. I will tell y'all something that was so funny though. So I was at because I'm at Panama City. But I was at the BX one day and I was watching these 2 people. So it was a guy that had pulled up in the Chief Park, and both of these are civilians, right? Well, they're in civilian clothes, retired. The guy got out of his truck and he asked the other person, he was like, "Are you a chief?" And then the other dude was like, "Why?" And the guy was like, "Well, I'm a command chief retired, and that's why I'm parked here." He was like, "Let me see your ID." And I'm in uniform, right? So I'm just looking at all this.
Wow.
Oh my God. It took everything out of me to say, why y'all parking in this spot? This is for, you know, active chiefs now. We need to run in and get us something to eat and run back out.
Run back out.
Yeah. To see these 2 people like about to battle it out over a parking spot. I was just like, is this what we equated?
Wow.
That's terrible.
That's crazy.
That's terrible. Yeah.
He was like, your ID. That man was like, no.
And this is why we have security forces on base.
You should have quickly took your look.
I was like, how about both of y'all park over there on the other side, because y'all got both of the disabled veterans tags. Go to the other parking
Look, we need that kind of footage. You should have took your name tag and your chief tag off real quick, record it, and then put it back on. That kind of footage.
Looking like, why she parked over here? Because one person was like, "Are you a chief?" And then I was like, "Ta-da!"
Yo, where is this at?
Yo, you already know where it's heavily populated with veterans, because you know they can slide in them plates.
Yeah, all day.
Wow.
That's hilarious. Jess, I didn't know you were a force retrain.
Yes, I was force retrained into equal opportunity. Not that I did enjoy it, and that's why I give my shots out, because you know, I had a LOR when I got picked up to be a ALS.
You did tell us about that. You did tell us.
I didn't know about the. I knew about the ALS. I didn't know about the IG or equal opportunity. Excuse me.
Equal opportunity. Yeah. I think that's what helped me become such a good public speaker. And I'll say Natalie Bale Anderson was my first supervisor in EO, and she kind of shaped who I was. But yeah, I loved it. I used to be scared of that woman. I told her I thought she was working on her master's degree. Every time, like when she retired, she was like, "Jess, I didn't even finish my bachelor's," because she had got sick or whatever. I was like, "Yo, you had me over here finishing all these classes because I was like trying to live up to your standards and expectations."
And you didn't even know.
And no,
that's interesting because how did it feel when you first got the initial notification that you were forced retrain? I don't think, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even know if we do that anymore as far as force retrain.
You know, when those lists come out, because they had promoted so many people. So like that list came out, and I'll never forget, because I was at the 8th Air Force, because I was a comm troop. And then my chief was like, "Yo, you on this list." Like I went from like being in the 80s to like number 13 to number 2. He was like, "You better pick for you." And I ended up picking, it was 3. I picked paralegal, equal opportunity, and then 1 Charlie. But then when they told me that paralegals do the majority of the work and the lawyers present it. I was like, peace. I was like, I don't want to be nothing in the ops world. I said, I can't even fix my face now, but then ended up in EO.
EO, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I
what's
loved
up,
it
though.
for what it's worth. Learned that it was dealing with federal law.
Yeah.
Not that, not what we always, but just to watch the boom. Because, diversity and inclusion used to be a part of equal opportunity. So watching the divide has been very, interesting.
Yeah.
Hey,
When they
Philly,
came out with those numbers, I started to hit the button for EO. I was interested in jumping ship. I just couldn't let the badge go. I don't know why. It was just I applied for retrain at my 3-year mark, but I ended up letting it closed out. I got all the way to the point where they said start submitting paperwork out, and I just pulled back. I was seeing.
So this don't sound crazy, but I used to want to be security forces, but y'all.
Yeah, that sounds crazy as hell. That does sound crazy as hell.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
I used to
You would be good.
security forces. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a
You've
security
been good
force
at it.
when I first came in.
Yeah.
Yep. Happy
That's
Father's
what's up.
Day done. Yeah.
That's what's up. Nah, I can see it though. I'm with Philly. I can see it.
Philly, let me know how you feel, because I know you tried to retrain, huh? Like a few times.
Yeah, several times. Several times.
Every time.
2 out of the 3 times were my own fault. So the
Yeah.
last
Oh, I
2
didn't know.
times it was the last 2 times, one was to be a NCOA instructor, but then they didn't have enough tech sergeants in the career field.
Yeah.
And then the last time was to be a senior NCO instructor. And then I got promoted to senior. So at that time, I was like, the Lord's telling me I'm going to be a cop. So
Gonna be a
What
cop.
were the
That's it.
what were the first 2 times? You just didn't submit your paperwork?
first time
on
was chaplain support, but I got an Article 15. Second
Yeah.
time I was on a
Dang. Hey,
I got that triple nickel. That's what got me, man. We just keep on giving.
that was
I
a
even
serious
know.
message.
You know what? I wasn't really. I love the Lord, but not that much to be a chaplain for. But I didn't care, man. I was like,
Dang.
I'll do whatever y'all want. I
Hey,
remember the head chaplain was like, "How do you feel in your faith?" I was like, "I'm good. Like, I believe in God and Jesus." He's like, you have to really follow a holy life to be able to set an example. Yeah, for sure. Damn right, I can do it.
Damn right. It's like,
hey,
Then
I'm
it's
about
like,
to
Article
I'm about to
15,
exit
it's
off
like,
this show.
nope.
I'm about to
It's
exit.
like, nope.
crazy.
I'm about to exit off this episode right here.
But this is interesting though, man, because I tell people all the time, it took me 24 years to get out that career field. 24 years.
That's crazy.
And then people would never tell you, no one would ever tell you that chief counsel was a dirtbag. I was a good cop, but man, did I hate it.
I'll tell you back when I tried to retrain, I can't remember the name, but you remember our chief. I think it was Dahl over there in Dakota.
Mhm.
Okay,
Senior
yeah.
Dahl,
Or senior. Yeah, that's what it was.
Mhm.
And he was like, when I was up for retrain, he was like, the only place you can go is Cadam or K9. Don't even think about going anywhere else. And I was like, don't even try. He's like, nope, don't even try. He's like, we need to keep, I forgot what he called us. No, Blackman called us Joes. I forgot. He had some name for us. He was like, we got to keep y'all around. And he was like, you stay and put where you at. So the only thing I'm improving is Cadam or K9. I was like, oh, man.
When I did, they said the same thing to me. And I got I can't remember who it was. It might have been a random staff sergeant I was talking to in the MPF. And he was like, no, that's not true. Yeah, that ain't right. So he's like, you need to go talk to somebody named, the first time I ever heard the term, career assistant advisor. I was like, all right, cool. Where they at? He's like, she on the 2nd floor. Go talk to her. So I went and talked to an older black lady. She was a senior mass sergeant. And I'm telling her, hey, I want to probably get out to another career field, blah, blah, blah. But my unit said, I can only go here, this, that, and third. She said, what unit you in? I told her. She said, can you step outside my office just for a second, please? I said, yes, ma'am. I got out and walked out. She must have picked up the phone and called her. I was like, man, I'm going to get back to that unit.
I know your phone rang before you got out the building.
I heard her on the other end of that phone. Y'all better not call her. Don't tell them that. They could come over here. Why y'all lying? I said, oh, my God, they're going to kill me. I ain't even want to tell her my name. Don't worry about it, ma'am. I don't want to go no more.
Yeah, exactly.
And then my chief was me in Philly size, probably an extra 25 pounds solid. Or he played football. I'm gonna go over the Chief, gonna stuff me in the locker or something, man. I weighed like 170 at that time, bro. I was like, man, why did she do that? But yeah, she wasn't playing around. They told us the same thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder how many people still think like that. What's up?
Can I ask y'all a question? I just need y'all to talk me off a cliff, see if I'm wrong or not. I've been here for about 3 weeks. My first week here, I don't know about you guys, but coming back to Lackland brought back some memories when I went through basic training. And I was feeling all nostalgic, seeing all the basic trainings all over the place. But after the second week, I was like, man, if you don't get the hell out the way, man, why are you in the BX? Why are you in the BX? Why are you in the video game section? Why are you in the GameStop? Why are you over there laughing and smiling? You're not supposed to be laughing. You're not even supposed to be laughing and smiling, son. You in basic training, man. Like, then I was asking my wife, I'm like, babe, I don't remember getting all these opportunities to go to the BX and hang out with regular folk. Like, they're just walking around like, yo, this basic training, man. Like, am I wrong?
Not to that last week, but I'll be different. I when I went down there, is I think I went down. I was down there for 7-Eleven. I went down there for something else. Oh, court martial, 2 court martials. So, and I was on that side, and I seen them too. But in my head, I want to say the same thing. Like, what y'all got a lot of freedom. But then I'm like, yeah, if I would have ran into that person that did that to me back then, I would have been hot. Like, you ain't my TI. You ain't know why you talking to me. You know, I know my attitude. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna leave these kids alone. Long as they ain't out here being crazy, walking on the cell phone, I'm gonna leave them alone. Because they probably the only little bit of time they got to have some freedom. So I ain't bothered.
Man, forget that. I'm thinking about snatching off that Air Combat Command patch. Like, you ain't one of us yet.
Dang. Just what you say.
Let him breathe, Philly.
I mean, I can't say that because, you know, the squadron SEL life is where you get the most skin, you know. I just be shocked, you know, at the level of comfort that they are at, you know, just to
Thank you.
It's not even like, don't get me wrong, like I enjoy it. I think I just be so shocked because I think back when I was coming up, I was like, I was barely talking to my staff sergeant. And you know, when I say barely talking to the staff sergeant, like I would barely give them details, but now they be running up in my office. I had to tell them, is this personal or professional? You know, just so I can get my mindset together. But them jokers be telling you about their personal life, like intricate details. Like I enjoy it because, you know, I'm in my last end, but more so I've been more of a model. Like I have a few airmen that work for us and our commander support staff, and like they stay out. She was staying out like in Panama City Beach, but she wanted to move close to the base. So I ended up going with her to look at her new place. I was asking questions to the people like, let me see what's in this rent. How much is going to be her down deposit? Like that lady was like, are you her mom or something? I said, no. I said, I'm her mom until my commander gets involved with her financials. I said, we're responsible for her. But then, you know, on the ride back, she's like, Chief, I would have never known this. Like, I'm so grateful. So now I just find myself like, you know what? This is the new Air Force. Like, long as I'm showing them the way, not, you know, a way to stick to. But that's what I've been enjoying so far. Is like just showing them how to advance their maturity, because some of them are like they really just don't know life facts.
No, they don't. We had a long conversation last night. I got my buddy of mine. We've been cool since 17 years. It came from we was at our first base together, but he got out. So it's the first time we've seen each other in like 17 years. But we was talking about the difference in the different hats you got to wear when you in these positions. You're not just a supervisor. You're not just a section chief. You're not, with this generation now, you got to be a coach. You got to be a counselor. You got to be a financial advisor. You have to be that. You know what I mean? Like that phrase, intrusive leadership, is for real. You know what I mean? Like if you think that you only a supervisor from 8 to 5 or 12 to 12, whatever your schedule is, or that's the only time you need to be involved with them, you're wrong. Simple as that.
This is time.
I have to tell them like
picking itself right here, man.
That way you call it hype your bestie up. I had to tell my senior NCOs like, stop hyping yourself up. Your efforts, your actions, your airmen hype you up. Like if I see your name on something else, we're gonna have some issues. I say you should be putting your name on stuff. Like let them do it. You be behind the scenes, coach them. You still gonna get credit for it. But I think that's the other thing. I'm just like, yo, why is your name on everything? And then they be like, well, your name be everywhere. I said, half of the time, I don't even be putting my name on it. I said, them be your folks because of what they don't get from you. They come and get it from me. Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't care. I tried to spell out in the new performance statements. I tried to get a verb that said play on.
Yeah,
Performance statement. My commander was so tickled. He said, "Chief, why?" I said, "Prevailed." Like was one word.
Yeah,
He was
try
like,
to make up something.
to be sorted out. I said, "Sir, I do not care." I said, "I just need one for the record."
Yeah.
No, that's I think that's a good topic. A couple of interesting things. Philly, first of all, I was there. Man, it feels like 7 years ago. I was stationed in Lackland, and I'll tell you, it was the same thing. You walk around, and be like, I don't remember this. That if we had all that freedom to do what I remember that one Thursday, Friday we did, but other than that, and then Saturday or Monday we were off to base or to tech school. But
that was
now,
graduate.
like you can't tell if somebody is in week 3 or week 6. You have no idea. And the only people you know the difference that stayed the same was the civilian clothes, right? But once they're in uniform, you have no idea who is who or what is what or what week they're on or whatever. And they used to have, different ways to tell. But now, man, you have no idea. I'll tell you, it was so crazy. We were playing intramural basketball. There's a dude in tech school on the intramural basketball team. Really? I said, yo, what the world?
But tech school, you had a little more freedom.
But no, you couldn't play with Permanent Party. You couldn't play on intramural basketball team.
We played ball, but we weren't on intramural, but we went to the gym.
You can go to the gym after work or after you get off of school and you can go do whatever you want to do. That's your time. But I'm talking about this dude. I mean, he could hoop, but this dude was on the team. I'm like, man, what the world?
But let me ask you this: why not? Why not? Do you feel like it's wrong?
I don't feel like it's right because you're not involved in a squadron. You're there to learn a job. You're not there to to learn your craft. And once you go to a squadron, even then we have certain things that we used to have, finish your CDCs or, QC for our career field before you can participate in anything. But now it's like, you're supposed to be sitting there learning your job. That's it. Like we should make it that much easier for you.
But who's to say
time away from them?
Yeah. Who's to say they're not learning their job?
No. I'm not saying they're not, but when you're there, that's not what you're there for. You shouldn't be mingling with people who already have a job.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. I totally agree with that. I feel like I see you though. What you got? I don't totally agree with that.
I agree 100%. Yo, you go to basic training, start your journey into the Air Force, and when you get to tech school, you there to learn your job. Once you get out of tech school, it's just like a role-playing game. You open up to an old, brand new world. But while you're in tech school, you should be with strictly tech school folks, not the regular populace.
So DC, have you been to the shop at yet to see? Like, I think the thing that bothers me the most, and my chiefs that's out there in San Antonio, please don't take this the wrong way. It's all love. But it's so many chiefs down there. We look like ants. So it's so many of us. But like when you see those airmen get out of their vehicles, like no hat, but they got that damn cell phone. I'm just like, I would be so nervous to walk around. Like, you got your cell phone, but you ain't got your hand. How many
bingo
on you down there? Mm-hmm. But that's the caliber of what has changed. Yeah.
But here's the thing: is it the fact of giving them that opportunity, right? Or is it the fact of people across the board not maintaining standards and discipline and holding people accountable? Because regardless of if they doing something wrong, if everybody that see them with that cell phone and without their hat, or you see them and you say something to them, you correct them, then okay. But if you allowing them to do it and we see them wrong and nobody's saying nothing, what is the problem? What we allowing them to do, or what they gonna try it? It is what it is, but who's there to correct them? But I don't think basic training 100%. They shouldn't mingle with anybody. You stand where you at, learning the basics of what you're doing. Tech school, gradually, you going to come across with people that I ain't saying ready to go party and this, that, and third. But if you want a team or whatever the case may be, that don't mean you necessarily stop learning your job. Because when you get to your first base, you learn your job. Yeah. And it's more. You playing sports, you learn. You still doing the same thing. Just the structure is a lot less. But I don't think we should completely restrict them from mingling with base pops, because regardless of where you at, the structure and the discipline going to always and still should always be the same. What are we allowing them to do? Are we allowing them to not wear their hat and walk around in backwards or whatever the case may be, and not say sir, ma'am, and not stand up? If we allowing that, whose fault really? Is it our fault or is it theirs? Who do we blame?
Mike, the only thing I'll say, I partially agree. The only thing I'll say is, I remember when I was there, I was too nervous to do anything like that. I made sure my hat was on, and then of course when we got our berets, I made sure that thing was on before I did anything. Like I didn't want to step out of the BX without it being on, so I put my bags down or whatever I had just to put that on. So it's like, as much as you're saying yes, who's correcting them? My thing is like, I don't even know where they get the knowledge or whatever. Be like, let me try this, or let me not do this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, let me not do this. So where do you think that comes from?
It comes from them not being held accountable. Period.
But they are though. I won't say like TIs aren't doing their job.
So you said no, but you said you was afraid to. So was I, right? So was I. I was afraid to walk out without my. But why? Because you knew when you walked out that way incorrectly, somebody out there was going to jump on your head. Period. That's why. Now it's more people that would turn their head to the airman that got the wrong color hair, the wrong length of nails, it's more people that would turn their head because they don't know, they're not smart enough, versus correcting them, being smart and correcting them. So they know who and where they can get away with certain things. That's why we was afraid, because we knew at any given time you walk out there, somebody gonna catch you and they gonna tell you wrong. It's less people now that's gonna tell you wrong than that people that will. I honestly feel. I watched airmen walk past the NCO or senior NCO wrong, right? Get past them, see the people make contact with them. Then I go, hey man, you know daggone well you ain't supposed to your hat cocked to the side like you LL Cool J or something. You need to fix your hat. Oh, roger that. But the person just literally walked past them. So who wrong? They wrong for it, but you also wrong for letting them walk around and be wrong. Period. That's just how I feel, man. It's standards and discipline. If ain't nobody enforcing it, slowly but surely, people gonna start to feel like I don't have to really comply as much as I should because ain't nobody enforcing it. It's just like the law. If you're gonna let people walk around and break the law constantly, no police. If you breaking the law and the cop drive right past you, after wild shit, I'm gonna keep on breaking the law. Ain't nobody stopping you.
Billy.
So let me interject. So I'll jump on peace side. I think this is how I feel. I feel like, one, you join the military is a privilege, and one, you have not officially joined until you reach your first duty station. So between basic training and tech school, basic training, you're learning the fundamentals of making that transition from civilian to airman. When you go to tech school, you're starting to learn your job and given a little bit more freedom to be an airman. But during that time, you can be jettisoned in a minute, washed out, pushed out, or whatever. I don't see you joining the operational Air Force until you reach your first duty station. Therefore, until then, you should be focused on strictly basic training and tech school. Because I would tell you, the majority of folks, when they leave, at least from what I see when I go to FTech, when they leave tech school, when they go to their first duty station, they're easily pushed or switch to the other side when they reach the airman, when they get to their first duty station. You know why? They forget the fundamentals. Even when I was a dirtbag airman, when I got to my first duty station, I knew all about making sure my uniform was squared away. I knew about customs and courtesy, standards of discipline, all that, because I felt like that was something I was supposed to do, was instilled in me. And I get it. Some people are different. Some people join the military just because, they're trying to get away from home, or they're trying to get another job or go to school. Everybody's different. But I think the more privileges you give airmen while they're in tech school, the more they forget how much of a privilege this is. Is it going to hurt them if they're not able to play basketball with base pop? I don't think so. Is it going to hurt them that they're not allowed to go to the base exchange on the other side of the base versus the shop vet on the normal side? No, I don't think so. They're still going to get access to the stuff they need, the bare essentials they need. But what's the most important thing, in my view, is that they understand the importance and the privilege of wearing a uniform. And I think they lose some of that when they get too much freedom while they're in base training and tech school. My personal thoughts. Oh, I see Samel Brown. What's up, bro?
Oh yeah, what's up, big bro? Okay. So the key word, right? You say the key word to me. We talk about transition, right? This might be a crazy analogy, but I'm gonna use it anyway. You somebody go do time in prison, right? They go time. We already know what the prison system is like, right? Most of us.
Man, you went to
From-
prison.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there.
Going
Right?
on?
Nah, yeah, I'm going. Real shit. I'm going. Right? You about to make me get off my bag, man. But anyway, right? They go to prison, right? We already know how it is. People not being educated properly in prison. They don't have the mental health and stuff they don't have in prison, right? You go in there because whatever the case may be, right? They supposed to be rehabilitated, but those programs are not what they're supposed to be. Then you expecting that they do this time, you expecting these people to change, you giving them whatever little bit of transitional education, whatever you're supposed to, right? Probably the minimum. And then bam, you take them out of prison, you send them back to society. How many of them end up right back, right? Or they don't that transitional period, right? To gradually get them conformed to, hey, this is what you're going into. Let me help you out, right? Because you're taking these people from their porch to basic training, right? Probably never had no discipline structure to that level. Then you put in the tech school. Tech school is a little more lighter than basic training, right? You got a little bit more freedom, but it's gradual. I'm not saying the first week of tech school, you just, hey, go ahead and party with your TI because he ain't your TI. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we talking about transition. It could be gradual because when you don't, and this is again, it's like that kid that their parents never gave you no freedom. You was never able to party. You was never able to go have friends outside. And the moment you get that first taste, they go to the moon. Right, because they never had it. They go to the moon. That last, like we go to basic training or tech school, you can't go off base until a certain amount of time. Then you're allowed to go off base in uniform a certain amount of time. Then you're allowed to wear you was in phases. And what's wrong with letting it happen in phases? What if that last week in tech school, yeah, you can go and transition and know and see what a unit is like, know what you're gonna get into. What's wrong with that? I'm not saying willy-nilly, you just give it to them and let them go 100 miles an hour. No. But what's wrong with transitioning gradually, letting them know, hey, when you get to, this last week, we're going to show you what operationally your unit is going to look like, or the things that's inside your unit that you're going to get introduced to, instead of just getting to a unit and boom. Because you know what happens. They get to them dorms and they get hold to little Jimmy and Tyrone that's wilding out. You already know it.
So that's what I was
saying.
I think your first enlistment needs to be cultivated the right way. And I'll say this, like you're talking about the prison, but I know we probably tired of talking about it, but I just have to follow it like James Morant situation with the gun. Like it just,
John Morant, yeah.
It's just, I look at it in a similar light because you can't tell someone like if they've lived their whole life like this and then they're introduced to something different, like it's going to take their first, from my observation, it's going to take their whole first enlistment to understand like that transition. So like, I feel like we need to protect their first enlistment experience. Like money is a big thing. And that's why I brought up James Morant again, because when you get that much money, that much freedom, and you don't have the right people to help guide you or create that solid foundation, you're going to act like that. And like you said, going to the dorms or just being around certain people, like I just watch like my airman, and I keep bringing her up because everybody that is able to see her growth, she's been with us since December. But when you go back and look at her stuff, like she's been passed off so much, but she's finally got the environment needed. Like I'm on her sometimes, but I'm just like, look, I need you to zip up your emotions. I said, you got too much estrogen flowing out right now. I said, this is Jessica talking to you, who is also a chief, but the things that you were able to do previously, like you can't do that now. And, I explained to her why. I said, your money will end up, if it's not good, you're going to be in the commander's office. And I don't want you in the commander's office because your money not good. Like she used a derogatory term. She did not know it was derogatory because she was playing what she said. I was like, yo, pimping. I said, do you know what you just And I made her write a whole paper on it. And it's not that I'm glad she said it when she was around me because she was so frustrated. But she was like, what did I say wrong? I said, go look it up. I said, look it up in the regular dictionary, look it up in Urban Dictionary, and I want you to write me a paper on why it is important to understand your surroundings and why it's important not for you to utilize their word. But they don't know, seriously. Like some of them are so conditioned to wherever they came from that our way of life, and I'm talking about the Air Force way of life is just so new to them. So like their first enlistment, I think, is ownership on us to teach them the right way. Like one thing that irks me is the damn hair color. Like for the life of me, like you looking like fucking Baps. And I had to tell somebody because they were like, well, you don't like it. It's not that I don't like it. So I pulled out that ACA form. I said, you see where your ass is at?
Oh, Lord.
are,
Getting called.
I know, right? Like, you are model airman. I said, you see what them other words say? Like, them other words say, like, you set the example for others. I said, it ain't no way in hell you set an example for others, walking around here like a damn highlighter. You just ain't. So those are the words that I'm really using for them now. Like, I ain't got time for it. And that's what I tell them. I say, y'all are not used to someone, and I have to tell them, it's not brutal or blunt feedback. It is honest, with respect feedback that someone has not given you.
Right, 100%. I feel like it should be gradual, you know, but
I think we do it gradually, because if you remember tech school, like, we have phases, right? Your phase one, I mean,
no, that's what I said, yeah.
And I'll be like, sometimes I didn't abide by the phase, but you have phases that you were supposed to abide by, right?
So what's wrong with that? One of them phases being to kind of introduce you to what that unit is going to be like. What's wrong with that?
I guess I don't find a problem. I guess the only problem I have is like with security forces, and I can only speak on that. And just maybe you can help us out with other career fields, is that different places have different things, I guess. I want to say standards, because it's not a standard, it's different. But it's just,
you better not say that.
It's just
so, like, for example, being at Tyndall Air Force Base, obviously, because it's rebuilding, I don't like that you don't have enough time in the dorms as a first-term airman. Like, I just don't. I feel that, and I think we do airmen a disservice pushing them out into the economy, because you're trying to keep up with the influx of airmen that's coming in. Yes, you can go to the Military and Family Readiness Center to get your budget, but again, if I have an airman who has not been able to manage their own money, they're 18, just because they've met the threshold of staying in the dorms at least 6 to 8 months, they're still not ready, in my experience, to be out there in the local economy trying to, like, rent is expensive. They don't know, like, hey, let me go find a place that got water and my rent. They're including water, electricity, Wi-Fi, you know, their car payment, insurance. Like, that's where I'm torn at. I just think we should give them more time in the dorms. Now, granted, if you've lived life before, like, and you can prove that you're 25 or older, or, you know, in your 20s, yeah, I don't think you should be subjected to that. But again, like, are we paying attention to, they are not their age. They are whatever grade they get. And are we helping them manage their finances?
So I agree with you to a certain extent, but I go back to the supervisor, right? The leadership, immediate leadership in that airman's life, right? Because in order for them to be able to be moving on, first of all, you should know, right? Second of all, you should be sitting down. If you don't know up until that point, you'd be sitting down with them and figuring out, hey, I know you want to go talk to the shirt or whatever the case may be, you want to move off. But let's sit down and talk about this, right? Do you know how paying rent works? Do you know about what you just said, like gas, you know, cable? And do you know how that stuff works? Do you even know where to go to set that stuff up? No? All right, cool. Now let me help you transition into knowing this. If you I'm ready. All right, let's go talk to the shirt and get you a letter or whatever. All right, yeah, now just go ahead and find a place. And you throw them to the wolves. We got to be more involved as leaders and supervisors. We have to be more involved, because the Air Force can't see it all and do it all, know it all. Because if they did it, they wouldn't need us in the middle. It'd be everybody learn AFI and go. You know what I'm saying? But these supervisors and these leaders in between got to be more involved. You should know what's going on with your people. You should be able to tell if they don't know how to manage money. You know, if they drive around, they got 2 stripes and they got a 730 Benz in the parking lot or a Beamer. Wait, something ain't right. You know what I mean? Either your parents rich, or you doing something you ain't supposed to, or you broke. One or the other.
Hey, Philly,
but I should know that.
Philly, tell me what you think about that, because I know your son. Didn't he just got out the dorms pretty early when he was at North Carolina?
No, yeah, about as a C airman. That's usually the going rate. You're a C airman, and they allow you to leave the dorms and stuff. That's happened a lot actually all over in most bases, because we don't have enough dorms. Either they're being remodeled or torn down and stuff. Matter of fact, at my last installation, we had quite a lot of issues where airmen were being pushed out of the dorms. A lot of them wanted to leave the dorms because they felt like they were going to get more money, you know, between BAH and BAH and BAS. So we was telling people, like, hey, you need to go tell them to go to the, like Just was saying, to MFRH to get a budget and stuff. But to Big Mike's point, which is goes back to what the original conversation was about. One was swap, and about culture. I saw a comment in the comments about one person got out because of the culture.
Yeah.
It starts with the supervision piece. So, case in point, I'm all on board for letting folks last week at tech school get them indoctrinated or seeing what a unit is like, have them go visit a unit, see what it's like, how they operate and stuff like that. A good unit, not a bad unit, but see how that's like. But I think in the end, when they get to the first duty station, the issue is the supervisors piece, the frontline supervisors. They'll be able to take that warm handoff from tech school and from basic training and to build on that airman. A lot of times folks blame TIs and they blame the folks at San Antonio for bad troops coming in the military, and they ain't dumb.
No.
It's the supervisors and at the unit when they get there. And one more point to jump on what Jess was saying about the hair color, it drives me friggin' crazy too. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like a lot of the rules and a lot of the things that we are doing to give airmen more freedom, I think we're going too far to the other side. Like, I get it. We want people to be able to be your natural self. But that is, just because Chief Counsel could have red hair doesn't mean I should. You know, there's a certain thing that I think folks expect out of folks in the uniform. And I think regardless of what we feel as far as the times changing, there's some things, in my opinion, that should not change, and that's military standards, professionalism, esprit de corps. There's a certain thing we expect out of military members. Now, I'm not saying if you have red hair, you can't fire a weapon, defend your country. I'm not saying that. That doesn't mean you should. Just like a shaving waiver. Just because Chief Counsel could get a shaving waiver doesn't mean I have to get one. No, if I can manage my face and shave with clippers and it take me an hour and a half, cool. But just because I can get a shaving waiver doesn't mean I should get one. And I think it's gotten to a point where people see folks with the ability to have certain things, and then everybody else want it. And so when we have the changing of the hair color, the nails, the neck tattoos, you name, we can go on down the line. What does it really do? Does it allow airmen to be more themselves? I get it, but I would argue it has taken some of the shift away from good order and discipline, my personal opinion.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not going to push.
Bianca said in the and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right in the comments. She said that she only enlisted, one time, and it was due to the culture. That's why she didn't re-enlist. But I think again, like the environment shapes that person's experience and whether or not they're committed to stay.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I believe I'm with you. Like I'll forever say, like we do what others won't do. That's why it's 1%, serving. But it's like, do we want the best of the best? And I just sit back sometimes. I was looking at this movie, not that it has any relevance to this, but looking at 65. And it was just like showing the world and how it's about to end. And I think about that often because we get so caught up in the minute things or the minuscule things that we forget about the big picture. Like I do, like if I go to war with somebody, like I don't want us to get targeted because, all of us are in line and you see these people whose hair color is just different. It's like, pop, you gone. And it's like, are we committed to like taking care of each other or being what we're supposed to be? And I just feel like every day it's a constant pageant now. I just feel like the military, yes, we want to keep, as a woman, keep our femininity to us, but at what expense? Like, it's just, I'm here to serve.
Yeah, Jess, I'm sorry to interrupt. She answered back, so I want to give put this up here and see y'all response on it. It says the culture at each installation is different because of the mission's differences. Additionally, you're lucky if you get the experience in supervision. Supervision is based on luck. The promotion tests aren't based on understanding of how to lead. It's more understanding how do you do your job. When you get skill level upgrades, you should have to take more humanity skills.
Humanity, fool.
Thank you, humanity skills. Hold on, she responded again. I'm trying to read off my phone. It's so small.
I do. Yeah, mine's right on the screen, and I'm right up on it if you want me to do it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, let Big Mike, you do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Please. Look, I'm asking you. All right. Dang, Chief. A lot of people know how to be multi capable, but not know how to help escort someone to get mental health or humanitarian services within the military. Right.
So just reading her comments alone lets me know that she values people. And I think it goes back to what you said, like, do we know our people? And I'm with her. Like, I am not my rank. I'm a big A airman. And I think for me, like, I've experienced some environments, even after being in a few years, that were very rough for me. So I know if it was rough for me, like, I can only imagine how it is for airmen. So I think that's why we try sometimes to demonstrate, what we're not giving to ourselves either. And that's why I was listening to I think it was Devon Franklin, because I used to always say grace and leniency, but I'd be like, F that now. I'm like, give space and grace. Because, a lot of people they're just not ever ready or prepared to receive what we have to give. And I agree with her, like, it takes you nothing to be a human. But I think people are just so afraid because they've never experienced that. Like, if you've never experienced a significant life event, you don't know how to help somebody else through theirs. Like, you just don't.
Right.
Man, what's funny is a lot of these comments, me and Chief Counsel or Philly has had a lot of conversations about especially about the promotion tests based on understanding how we lead. It's just basically, and that's back to your point, Jess, about people just want to put their name on everything and not willing to help anybody out. They just want their name out there because they think that's what's going to give them promotion. And unfortunately, I can't argue with that fact that there is some truth behind that. There's also some truth that if you help people out, you will get rewarded. It might just take a little longer. A lot more people got to help. But I think it's a disservice that we do. Not only what Philly was saying with changing hair colors and doing all that, is doing a disservice because, and I hate to use the Marines as an example. I mean, they've been in existence forever, but they haven't changed their freaking culture in I don't know when. And they're simplify and all that stuff is upmost. And same thing with the Navy. I mean, I know the Navy jumped off on the Marines, but or the Marines jumped off of the Navy, but their culture is what makes them, shapes them and everything. And I will always say, I will always say that the Navy senior NCO induction is the pinnacle for what everybody should be doing for their senior NCOs, because they go for a week-long thing. And they go through PT. I mean, they do everything. Like, you're pretty much almost like ALS. You're brought out, and before you could put on the rank, you have to go through this. But I don't know. It's a hard thing to swallow where we're at and where we're going. Like, I get it. I do. I think I get it. But at the same token, I think to your point, Jess, the 1% is you have to sacrifice. And that's what makes us who we are, is because that we sacrifice. When people say thank you for your service, it's because you have sacrificed something. You are constantly sacrificing things on a daily basis. And if we just conform to the way society is, it's almost like people are going to stop saying it to us. The last point, Mike, to you is about people wanting to move out in the dorms or whatever. I think we all struggled when we first changed our environment. Right, whether it's moving out of the dorms, going through a house, or getting married, or having kids, we all struggle financially to the most part to get that done. So I think that's part of the journey. But I think some people just aren't ready, and it's just hard to determine who is and who isn't.
But it doesn't have to be a lonely journey. It's a part of the journey. I got it.
But here's back to Jess's point. I'm sorry to interrupt. Back to Jess's point.
No, you ain't. Stop saying you're sorry to interrupt. You interrupt anyway. But go ahead.
Back to Jess's point. Some people haven't been through that, so they have no idea how to even coach somebody through that, and that's not part of the promotion system. Back to Ms. Lewis's point.
But you have the resources. You have other people. You got people with experience. It's out there. So it's not an excuse to say I haven't. I can say that about a million things. We all can, right? I could go to Jess right now and be like, look, Jess, I got a flat tire. I need your help. And she'd be like, well, I ain't never been through it, so you got to figure it out on your own. Or she could say, I don't know how, but I know my homeboy or this person and this, they know how to do it. Let's go find. Let me link y'all. It's you. We can. I ain't been through everything in life. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna find somebody. If I don't know it, I'm gonna find somebody that can. I can easily say I don't know how to do it. Leave me alone. But is that the right answer? No, it's not. Everybody has their own journey. I got that.
People just want to show up. I remember being stationed here in Alabama, and my instructor that worked with me, she had a flat tire. It was so funny because she called the police, and I was like, "Girl, why you calling?" But she is not originally from here. So she
Mhm.
grew up in Italy. So she ended up calling me for the flat tire. But it was so funny when I got out there, because we're talking about a flat tire. I showed her where her spare tire was, and then the cop, I was like, bless his heart. He didn't even know what he was doing. I was like,
Lord.
and I lift up the back part of the trunk. She was like, how would you know that? I was like, again, I was taught by
Nice go.
Chief Nathan Turner at the time, like how to do those things. And I'm just like, again, from that day forward, she knows how to do that, because she was like, I never knew like I could do that on my own. She just knew that, hey, she had a blowout on the side of the road and she called the cop. But it's like, she tells me to this day, like, now I know how to change my tire. But
And
I
that-
sometimes just want us to show up, not always talk.
Yeah,
That's
and huge.
that was the reason why I gave that example. Well, I remember A1C Denson, C. Airman Meadows, and it was another C. Airman. They was coming from the flight line. I got lucky. I got to be police 4, right? So
Yeah.
I'm back at the squadron. We had a posting van. So the posting van picked up the airmen from they did the transition, the post change at the flight line. They coming back from the flight line. Meadows catches a flat, right? So I'm like, bro, where y'all at? Like, we waiting for y'all to turn in. We got a flat. I said, well, where he say where he at? I go back over there. I'm like, bro, why y'all ain't changed the flat? He's the same thing. He said, I don't know how. I grew up with that. Like, my father fixed cars, so fixing the flat was like, you do that in your sleep. Not to be cocky or nothing like this, a flat. But I'm go back out there. Let's change his flat. And the first thing he said was, how you know all that stuff? Like you said, I was taught.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all it is to show people. Now it's much easier because you could sit your phone on the side of the tire and watch YouTube. You know what I mean? Real, you know what I mean? That's honest.
She said she Googled it.
She just Googled it. That's funny.
Yeah, you can Google it. You can do it. But the thing is, if it's about helping people, right? It's about knowing if you got the knowledge, don't hold on to it, right? Share it with other people.
Philly, I'm interested to hear what you say. Last thing I wanted to say was that why you laugh?
Yeah,
I love the photo bomb in the back.
Yeah. So I just lost my. I think a lot of people are, Mike, to your point, and I'm not one of them. I know you're not one of them. Is people don't want to admit that they don't know something, especially when somebody come and ask them. They would probably rather BS some stuff than just be like, hey, go talk to this person, because they're a lot smarter than I am. Like, I know a little bit, but that person that works right next door to us would be the person to go talk to. Not saying that I don't want to help you, but they will just help you out more. Shit, I'll grab by your hand and walk you over there if you want, but they will help you out more. But a lot of people just want to take credit for themselves. Oh, I helped this person out. Man, I'll give you a perfect example. Is that we had a young lady trying to cross train. We had a senior who's like, come by my office after work. I'll help you out. Meanwhile, we've been helping her out for probably about 2-3 days with this cross train stuff, getting her to the, CAA and everything like that. But, so then she went to go talk to the senior. I was like, yo, how was your conversation with him? He's like, oh, he pretty much showed me what I already knew. It's like, it's like, there's only so many ways. Like, I get it. It's like, did you at least thank him? And she was like, yeah, I did. But, there's nothing new that he showed me. And so it's just funny how those things happen. Philly, what you think?
Actually, I was going to ask if I could bring up something else. We can move on to the next topic.
Sure, why not?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead. That's transition.
I saw that on the Chiefs page the other day. There was I can't confirm it was the first sergeant. It was somebody, but they were ranting and raving about some maintainers created some patch. It says MX on it, but it has the airframe in the background of it, like A10 C-130. And the poster of the page was like, hey, is this patch authorized? There was a slew of comments. Some of them were like, who cares? If somebody cares about their morale and stuff, why even care about it? Then another person was like, well, it's not an AFI. If you don't follow the standards, then so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But real quick, I don't give two shits about it. Like, if you want to make a patch and you're proud of the airframe you're working on, who cares it's in the AFI? And to the poster that says on there, hey, well, you don't follow the other standards. I mean, the AFI is there for a reason. And let's be honest, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that's not in the AFI that occurs because sometimes commanders make decisions or supervisors make decisions. To me, I will fall on the sword for that one. If you want to create a patch with your airframe that says maintenance on it, that gives you some some morale, that's fine. As long as it's not against good order and discipline. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Was this patch for daily wear or was it for like Morale Fridays or?
Well, I can't confirm that. I'm not sure if it was on a Friday or if it was daily wear, but there's quite a few out there in the wild.
I'm indifferent. I'm like you. I don't care. I don't care. As long as it don't look crazy, I don't care. I've seen some crazy ass ones, but it's like I don't care. Just what you think.
Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
I'm with you. I think that's the other thing that I enjoy. Like you said, the evolution of the Air Force is how artistic our people are. And again, like I believe, like if that's what invigorates and motivates you, like why we gotta stump on it because of what the AFI says. And that's why I'm a firm believer. Like pay attention to those words. Like does it say will, must, shall? Like if they found an opportunity to, you know, express themselves in that manner and they can get the other people on board, like I enjoyed it. I'll never forget one of my peers, and we're good friends, Larry Parker. Parker was like, we are those type of people from a cultural perspective. When you get that airman that loves the Air Force so much and they put on the Air Force symbol as a tattoo on them, everybody talks about them. But they're able to walk around, you know, embody what they have on them and become, you know, this great, outstanding leader. Everybody want to jump on board. But he said, that's how we attack culture. It's like we ridicule it because we weren't the ones to initiate it, or it's something we wouldn't do, but it doesn't be wrong. And I love that analogy that he gave. And he's right. Like, and it's even with us sometimes, because I've had my airmen tell me, like, why do you have to retire? Like, you're what the Air Force needs. And I'm just like, no, I'm not what the Air Force needs. I'm what you want. I said, those are two different things. And I said, I need you to understand the difference. Like, my freedom of expression and how I represent it is not always in the confines of what the Air Force looks like. But I said, you as a people, that's what y'all enjoy. Y'all love me popping off on my little slogans. Like you love when I'm like able to correct, but I don't deflate your, you know, ego. I correct in a manner where it's going to be fun, but I want you to sit back and reflect on it too. And I said, everybody is not able to have that.
Right. Now, I think we 4 for 4 on that, man. I'm not gonna say I don't care, but I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I said, if it's not bringing any disgrace to the uniform or the family, Air Force family, cool, because that's the purpose of diversity, right? People think it's diversity just because you got a white, a black, a Mexican, and an Asian. That's it. No, the purpose of diversity is allowing who you are to bring that change, not just your presence, to bring your culture to the party. That's the purpose of it. That's what it really means. Not to say, oh yeah, my team diverse. I got somebody from everywhere. But are you allowing those people and what they bring in their culture to bring the change, a proper change to our organization, our enterprise? That's the purpose of it, right? So if you bring somebody, Pete, you said a while ago, man, I don't know why I won't forget this, but you said you're never going to please everybody, right? Because you said if you walk around with a big smile on your face, somebody gonna say, man, they crazy. Why he always smiling, right? Yep. But if you walk around with a frown, man, he ain't never smiling. What's wrong with it? You can't please everybody. If you walked around with a giant smile on your face, somebody gonna think you crazy. Why can't it be that I'm just happy? Why can't it be that I enjoy my life, that I'm happy? I wake up happy and I'm gonna go to sleep happy. Why does my smile have to make somebody think I'm crazy?
Or your lack of smile makes, something is wrong with you.
Something is wrong.
Like
everybody, everybody gonna see it the way they see it, right? But the whole patch deal, Philly, I'm with you. If this person was creative enough to say, let me create something that's gonna bind my team and my family together, and this is ours, then let it be, right? You gonna have that one person. Let it be.
Yeah, I think Alicia is either a current shirt or a prior shirt. I love her answer, and she's absolutely correct. I think I agree with 100%. The key is that they do it legitimately. Now, if they went to their commander, like case in point, if the 502nd Maintenance Squadron, a group went to their squadron, a group commander, and approved them, cool. But the problem is when they wear it out in the field, and somebody else sees it, and they jump all on them, and they don't know the whole story.
They don't know the story.
I mean, if you remember when the patches started, it was initially just duty. Hey, appreciate you, Alicia. Almost retired, yeah. So, like the initial patches were all duty identifier tabs, if I'm not mistaken, like SF, OSI, fire, whatever, right? And then everybody spawned into starting creating their own patches through their career field manager. So there's so many in the wild, you really don't know if it's authorized or not. So someone on the page put out a post of all these patches in the AFI. There's quite a few that's missing from there. So my thing is this. I guess my only issue is if I go out in the wild and I see it, I mean, it's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look, like the guys in Masawa, shout out to Masawa, they're wearing a patch that says 2027 on it. It's red and it's got a black border. And it's supposed to signify a potential conflict with China in the future. It kind of reminds them to get ready. I thought it was freaking awesome, you know? But that's not an AFI, but the wing commander authorized them to wear it. So instead of me saying, hey, True, that patch ain't authorized, why are you not wearing it? Instead of me just asking, like, hey, where'd you get the patch from? Cool, blah, blah, blah. And then I do my own research.
Right.
I think that's where I'm getting at, I suppose.
Yeah, because things change every day. It's about delivery and it's about how you communicate. Things change every day. But you gonna have that one person that think they know everything and they ain't updated. They went on leave and they ain't see on Facebook that it changed. You know what I'm saying? And now it's behind instead of appropriately or respectfully asking somebody the same way you would want them to inquire from you. But I'm with you, Philly. I agree with it. Like I said, if it's something that's gonna grow the culture, right, and make the people more cohesive, because we got so many things out there that's dividing people, right? It's easy to divide people. There's so many things out there. If you got something that's gonna bring people together and make them stronger as a team, why are we fighting against it? As long as it's not illegal and ethical or immoral, why are we fighting against it? Right? I agree 100%. 100%.
Yo, I had an old boss on another topic. I had an old boss tell me the best leaders are introverts. Y'all believe that?
Introverts.
Yeah.
I do. I agree.
Man.
I agree. I'm not saying nothing wrong with an extrovert leader, but I agree. Because an extroverted leader could be a better listener. You know what I mean? They might hear more. So that's my spin on it. You extroverted, you might be a better listener than an introvert because we so used to being controlling the conversation, saying what we want to say, like being in the center. But somebody extroverted might be more susceptible to hearing what's going on and formulate, their answer, their response versus to not. But my opinion, I would say, yeah, it's one-sided with me.
So don't judge me. I like a play on words because you said an introverted leader. You didn't say an introverted professional. So I like that an introverted leader. I agree. I think at times they know when they need to be extroverted. They will turn it on to motivate their people. But I do agree. Like I work with a commander, like I love him. His name is Major Jason Christie. I love his wife, Miss Alicia Christie. Like when I tell you he's prior enlisted maintainer, and now he's a 38F. But when I tell you like he gets it, he does both. He's able to listen and hear you. And when I see people like, I don't know if he genuine, I tell them like, sir, let me handle your lightweights. Because they're about to put it in perspective because he really does. I've never seen a person that is like, he has 1,000 other things to do, but if a person wants to talk to him, he's going to be like, hey, Chief, can you handle this for me? Let me handle this. So I do love that about him. And I always remind him like, sir, don't get compassion fatigue. Because he's not one of those people that's out there like, but when he needs to be, he will. I remember the first time I was with him and we did a commander's call. I was so confused because you know how you do we do Slido for our commander's call where he can get comments. But somebody he was quoting dead president. And my head was
what the fuck?
Dead president. He was like, Chief, what are you talking? I said the movie. He was like, no, I was literally quoting like President Eisenhower. I was like, oh, okay, I thought you
Wow.
But like that is what I enjoy about him because he's so versatile.
I think kind of like what Jess said, I was thinking about it. I think Simon Sinek once said like the best leaders are the ones that go in the room and don't say anything at all. And even if they are not everywhere, but when you see them or they talk, everybody pays attention because they don't do it often. And so I think there's a skill and a talent to be able to be at the right place at the right time. Also extreme skill to sit there and shut the hell up and not say nothing for a whole meeting. And for like say you have a meeting every day for a week. And then on Tuesday or Friday or something, go in there and finally talk. I think a lot more people will pay attention as far as the leadership aspect. I guess I can agree. I think we had a comment in there. I just don't want somebody to be so introverted that they're hands off.
I mean, I don't know.
That too, where you have a person, I won't even say introverted. I'll just say the person lacked people skills. They were very good when it came to like the paperwork side, but when you talk about need that engagement with people, they really suffered in that aspect. And I don't know if it was their fear of being ridiculed or not coming off the way that they would want to. But nowadays, when you hear the word leader, like people want you, like they want to see it. They don't want you to talk about it. They want to be able to see it. And I think that's what we lack, because everybody, you know, some people don't do social media, so you can't hold that against them. But at the same time, you have some people that are out there like they are introverted and they don't know whether or not their actions will come off as genuine. So I think that's why a lot of people are hesitant too, the judgment that comes with it.
Billy, what you about to say?
No, I know my last boss, Colonel Mills, Manuel Mills from DM. He said it perfectly, similar to what Jess said. He knows he's an introvert. He tells people he's an introvert, but he knows how to manage it. So, and I feel the same way. You know, I think sometimes I think I'm extrovert. Sometimes I think I'm introvert. I think it's a middle in between. Maybe Jess can help me out. Have you heard of an ambivert? Is that the correct term? Ambivert, right? Kind of the middle. So I think that's what Jess was describing, is just being aware that you're an introvert and you can manage it, but you need your time to recharge at the end of the day. Yeah. So like Colonel Mills is one of those guys where his actions display the type of person where he's so involved with people and he will stop everything to engage with folks, and the mission is secondary. So, which brings me to my other point. Like some people, I think Andy Gilbert said it on the little short video you put out. He said something about when he talks to leaders or commanders, he says he's not as concerned about the mission. He's more concerned about the people. And he says the commander looks at him like he's crazy. So I've always said that I feel like the best people are the people who are good with working with people versus those who are extremely knowledgeable. Because if you have somebody extremely knowledgeable, but they suck with people, ain't nothing you can do about that. But if you have somebody who's good with people and not extremely knowledgeable, your people are going to take care of them and get them up to speed. Curious to see what y'all think.
Yeah.
I'll just say I agree.
Y'all know most of the time I always kick off and talk, and I find myself, I'm gonna know my job, I'm gonna continue to learn it, but I want to be locked in with the people, right? I want to be locked in with the people. People first, mission always is my slogan. Like that's just how I want to be able to connect with the people, whoever you are, whatever you look like. I want to be able to relate to you as much as I can and make you feel like you can come to me for anything. And if I don't know it, we gonna go find it out together. But I gotta stay connected to the people. That's to me, that's my strong suit, right? Like that's what I learned to be. I always want to make people better than what I would ever be, and constantly train my replacement. So because I know if I do that, if I can motivate you to let you know, hey, why this mission is so important, you're gonna be just that more inclined to say I need to do my job right, because he showed me he care about what happens to me, and in return, I'm gonna give him the fact that I'm gonna take care of this mission as best I can. Because if I teach people that it's the other way around, they're gonna see that they're not the priority, and they could care less about what I say or what I want them to do because they not bought in. If I could buy you in, you're gonna do anything I want you to do positively.
I think I'm the same way. I think that's why I initially used to struggle so much with, exposing myself. But I think as leaders, that's the most important thing, to expose yourself so that people can learn. Like I used to hate when people think you have a layer of perfection. I'm like, none of us are perfect. But I enjoy, like you said, Mike, being able to help somebody, or I know somebody that can help both of us. Because, when you don't know anything, you're opening yourself up to learn as well. Right. So I agree. I love working with people. That's something I want to do when I retire. Working with kids. But yeah.
I think I'm going JROTC instructor. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I think that's what
I think you'd be good at that. Yeah,
that's what my next life gonna be. I'm gonna go JRT instructor. So you out there, you got the information. I'm coming for it.
Before we close this all, I know we've been on for a while. I think last show I asked y'all some questions. Two parts to this. So if y'all don't mind, I would like to ask Jess the same questions to get her opinion on it. And then I have part 2 of the interview, if you want to call it that. And he asked some more questions. So I would like to hit y'all with those as well, because I think it was really good. Jess, just to give you a backstory about this. So I did an interview with a company just to practice my skills, make sure I'm still relevant. Networking a lot is my key. And it was a Zoom interview like this. And one of the guys came in and he just spit out some questions. Before he did, he paraphrased this first part by saying, only a phrase or a sentence, you can't expound on it, and nobody's going to ask you any questions. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but they're pretty simple. But you can't expect, nobody's going to ask you to expound on it. You can't do anything longer than a phrase or a sentence.
Dang. Okay.
Okay, so the first one is person you trade places with for a day. It could be alive or dead.
Shirley
I guess-
Chisholm.
Who's that?
Shirley Chisholm.
Okay, I can't expound on it, but guilty pleasure.
Terrible.
Guilty pleasure. Netflix.
Okay, best compliment you ever got.
I'm different.
Something you wish you were better at.
Being outside.
Worst piece of advice you ever received.
Worst piece of advice? Stop.
Wow. And what will always make you laugh?
My kids.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna give you all this part 2. There's only 4. I only remember 4 of them, so I'll hit y'all with this. But Philly, I'll let you go first, and we'll go around the horn.
Shoot.
Person you would take out to lunch from past history.
Ronald Reagan.
Oh, Mike.
I would be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kennedy.
I'm sorry. Let me. I totally messed this up. There might be a follow up to this, and you can expound on your answer if you want to. I'm so sorry, but if you want to just leave it at that, you can leave it at that. Mike, who you got?
Jess was gonna go. She go. Let Jess
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry.
I said John F. Kennedy.
Wow. President.
Good choice.
Mike.
Malcolm X.
Wow. All right. I'll just tell you my answer. I said Steve Jobs. Celebrity crush, Mike.
Why you go me first?
Because we're just going out of order. This could be a past crush, a present. It's supposed to be what childhood celebrity crush.
Nah, I'm just messing with you.
Childhood. We'll do childhood celebrity crush.
Sanaa Lathan.
Oh my God. Stand in line.
Childhood.
Just who you got?
Well, it's childhood and now. Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, stand in line. That same line. That same line. Philly, who you got?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, okay. So I said childhood and I said Topanga.
Oh,
You said childhood.
Boy Meets
childhood.
Topanga.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. Yeah, they didn't know who the hell Topanga was.
Well,
Who
if that's
did?
the case,
Oh.
my childhood was Stefan.
Oh, Urkel.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Mike, what was
Okay.
yours?
Myra.
Myra.
Family Matters.
Mine was
Family Matters.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yours was who?
Tootie.
Good time.
Who?
I meant
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life. Yeah.
Yeah, Tootie.
Okay. It kind of follows up, but not really. I'm sorry. There's 3 more questions. What TV show would you want to be on now, and what part would you play in that TV show?
Like that's now or any and
Or
any
yeah,
history, any era.
anyone.
TV show. Who going
Yep.
first?
Go ahead, Mike.
No, Jess look like she got her answer.
She look like she's thinking.
Well, I was about to say something that was inappropriate because I don't know if kids is listening.
No,
But I
yeah.
mean, on Netflix. It's called Sex Life.
I never see it. Okay. I'm gonna ask you what part you want to play.
I really love that show. I would say if I want to be on a show, it would be Insecure. Like I really love Issa Rae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Power.
Okay. Who would you play? Or who would you want to co-star with? Either one.
Who would I want to co-star with?
Yeah. Like who would be your friend, rival, whatever, or who would you want to just take over and play that character?
I ain't saying.
Okay.
I ain't saying.
Okay. Philly,
The Wire.
Mm.
who would you want to play?
Omar.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But
I
the
said-
other version. You get my drift. Not that part of Omar.
wasn't
Just the
even thinking of
gunshot
that.
part.
I was not even
All right,
thinking about
so
that.
if Philly put his out, I say I would play Ghost. I'll be Ghost.
Oh, I see why you didn't say.
You
Okay.
sure you don't want to be Franklin from Snowfall?
Ooh.
I would be both. I'll play both.
Wow. Okay. If you weren't in the military, what would you be doing, Philly? Never enlisted in the military. What would you be doing?
Disregarding any specialties or special training or anything.
Yep.
Psychologist.
Mike?
I would be in some sort of like youth inspiration, like group leader. You know what I mean? Like if let's say if they had like a youth counselor, YMCA type deal or a school, that's what I would be doing.
Jess?
I would want to be like in a Fortune 500, just telling executives like how to manage their teams better, like without having any experience with the military. I just enjoy bringing people together and observing.
All right, last one. Jess, we'll start with you. What was the biggest risk you ever took?
I always say this, but being myself, can I expound on it or no?
Sure. Yeah.
I think the moment I realized I could be myself is when I was an ALS instructor at Yokota, and Ken Braceley is on here, so he knows. And the way that I speak, the accent was so thick at the time, and I couldn't be on podium. So I got put in a DJ booth. So I was like, you know what? I'm tired of, people trying to put me in a box. And I was responsible for the music when they played, set the awards, and they had to go on the stage to get the awards. So I had played Rubber Band Man by T.I. instrumental.
Oh, shit.
I knew it was coming.
That was the biggest risk I had took, but it was so funny because anybody that didn't know T.I., everybody turned and looked at the DJ booth, and I was just like, I bet that ass be on that podium next. But that was the biggest risk I took. It was like, I'm tired of, telling people, I'm tired of people telling me how to behave. And I think that just opened up the door. And I'm one of those airmen, I'll admit, I wanted to see how much I can get away with what I knew I could protect.
Yeah.
Mike?
I like that. Leaving home.
Yeah.
Biggest risk I ever took was leaving home. Wasn't no parachute. That's basically what I can say. Wasn't no parachute. Leaving home. That's it.
Mike,
in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Mike? I said the exact same thing. Join the military because there was no safety net. If this didn't work, I have no idea. I have no idea.
It might have been, but I didn't. I put in the back of my mind that it wasn't.
Right.
You know, that, and I always, and even now, like I know you say we can't expand, but my story.
You can't on these ones. But
even now, like I raised myself. Being a man, like my slogan to myself is, "I am the help." If I lose, that's it. I say to myself, I am the help. You know what I mean? So if they can't call on me, then it's a wrap. That's how I groom myself. So
Philly, what you got?
I would agree with you guys, but instead of saying the same answer, one that popped in my head is taking this job. Probably this is a big risk, taking this job.
Really? You want to expound?
Mm-hmm.
Expand?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not like a tier 3 guy, more or less like closer to the airmen. This is more strategic level, a lot of traveling, being around a 2-star all the time. General Allen, if you watching, nothing against you, sir. Just being honest. I could have easily retired. I could have easily retired. Davis Moffitt was my Super Bowl, my walk-off, my NBA championship. I feel like Jordan coming back to the Wizards. Hopefully it work out well for me. But yeah, I would say this job. Yeah,
that's cool. Well, I appreciate y'all for answering. I think it's really cool how that interview worked, and just getting put on the spot with answering those questions is quite difficult.
Yeah.
It's quick. Breaking news, real quick. Bradley Beal got traded to the Suns for Chris Paul. So Chris Paul into the Wizards. So the Suns now have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. I'm like, what are they trying to do? So season tickets gonna go through the roof. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I appreciate the show today, y'all. I think it was good, especially happy Father's Day to the two fathers in here.
Appreciate it. And all the fathers watching. Big bro, Samir Brown. Happy Father's Day to you, bro.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, if Samir Brown is still watching, at the end of the month, we should be doing this episode. I almost said the corner. So you are allowed to jump on, and we can get you the information so you could jump on live stream if you want to and be part of the conversation. So that we got to
get him. Yeah, we got to get him on anyway, man. We definitely got to get him on here.
Yeah, sure. I echo that. Samir Brown is one of the true OGs, mentor to me. We love to hear his thoughts on, especially now he's retired, on what's going on in the Air Force. So yeah, we definitely have to get him on.
Yeah, we're locked that. We're locked that in, bro.
Although he's a Patriots fan, but other than that,
oh man.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. This definitely was a good one. I appreciate y'all. Good conversation. I hope the viewers felt the same way.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and sign off. See y'all next time, man. Unpopular celebrities.
Hey, yo, I thought you was gonna have us go around and say some stuff, man. Get your stuff together, programmer.
Go ahead. Say whatever you want to say.
I just want to say thank you. I just want to reiterate.
Hold on, man. Hold on. We go. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go.
You can't even do it right.
Go ahead. Say whatever you want. We'll be down here. We'll be the minions. Go ahead.
Yo, I want to reiterate Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I must say I am happy to society because the appreciation of fathers has gone up exponentially. So I appreciate it. I had a good time with my wife yesterday. She took good care of me. Shout out to Wendy Council and Dana Council for being a father too. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And last but not least, happy Juneteenth. If you're going to the movies to see The Blackening, I caution you, it's not a very good movie. So I will tell you that. And all of us on the panel, happy Juneteenth, except for one person, because I question.
Yo, he gonna box you up, man.
Yo, every freaking time. Man, just can't act right.
Oh
we
my
need to give somebody. We need to check somebody. You know. So happy Juneteenth. Thank you.
All right, Jess, what you got, Jess?
Happy Father's Day again. Happy Juneteenth, as this is the day we look forward to celebrating tomorrow. I know some cities have been celebrating all last week. To our show viewers, we really appreciate you all, and we like the organic feeling that the show has to offer for us. We jump around, we talk about everything, but I think it's very interactive now. And thank y'all for listening.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Mike, send us off, bro.
Hey man, again, man, I appreciate all of y'all. You know what I mean? Just as a team, as a family. I appreciate the viewers and supporters. Continue to share, like, comment, tell your people about it. You got topics and you got things that you feel like need to put on the table. Bring them to our table. If you don't feel like everybody should see your inboxes, we ain't name dropping and none of that, man. Bring it to the family and help us expand. But I appreciate all of y'all rocking with us for this long, 3.5 years. Through 2 365s and everything else, man. So I enjoy being able to jump on here and just chop it up and give my opinion and get the advice of everybody else that's out there. Help me think outside the box sometimes. So I appreciate y'all. And again, happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth. Celebrate your weekend. That's all I got.
Yeah, we out of here. Unpopular celebrities.
Peace.